So I've been writing these blog things, and I type and type and type, and I write whatever comes into my head, and then I tidy it up, and then I publish it. And some people read them, and some people don't, and I never really know, right? Like, I sort of put all this work into these things that I really like. I do it for my own gain primarily because I'm really enjoying the process of writing and I'm finding it quite useful. The process in order to process stuff that's going on within my life or within the world around me or in my head. Um, but I occasionally get messages from other people saying what they thought about it, or whether they agree or disagree, or whether it resonated or if it didn't resonate. And I think they're more inclined to message me if it does resonate. So the rest of you who don't message, are you thinking, this is pretty weird, the shit that he's talking about in some of these posts? Because I mean, if you are, it's totally fine. But I love a healthy debate on these things. So yeah, like a conversation on whether I'm losing my mind, I'd quite relish. But anyway, so this is. I said I blog every day, right? And I put up a post this morning that covered yesterday. But I've been sat at a computer all day at work, or stood at my standing desk, and I just can't face. I can't face typing more tonight. So it's now my 9th day without alcohol. I don't have a dependency on alcohol for anything really. Like, I've given it up for long periods in the past, and that was pretty all right. I definitely prefer having it as a social lubricant. Like, it definitely makes social gatherings easier, but I think like I've been using it to make social things easier for about 20 years now, and whilst like that's absolutely fine, and I've got nothing against it, and I understand completely why people want to drink it, it doesn't surprise me, because I feel that myself too. But it's been very detrimental to my physical well-being, and my physical well-being has got to the point in the last year or so where has been, and probably still is to an extent, having a really detrimental impact on my entire life, not just on the days where I had a bit of a hangover. Like, my ability to process and digest food has just fallen off a cliff. Well, it did fall off a cliff, and I've done a lot of work, which has involved me cooking a lot of my own food over the last year, with a very sort of a select group of foods that are beneficial towards these guys in here. But as much as care as I took with the food stuff, I would then on a Friday or Saturday, or potentially the occasional cheeky Wednesday or Thursday, go out there and neck a few vinos or a few gin and tonics, or before you know it, it's a Friday and someone's getting the tequilas round, which is great, right? It's good fun. But it stopped being fun recently, because if there's like a doubt or a concern that what I'm doing in the process of doing this is having a severe detrimental impact to my entire sort of physical being, if the physical being is out of whack, the brain goes too, or the mind. I shouldn't say just the brain, because I think the gut and the brain are two very powerful entities in determining how your brain or how your mind is functioning, and how happy you can be, or how productive, or how switched on, or how open or empathetic or caring or kind, or what an arsehole you could be. Like, it's all interconnected. And for a long time, I've probably kidded myself that I could carry on drinking, and sort of and get better, and sort of achieve great health, because I've been trying really, really bloody hard for a long time to achieve great health. Like, I have the healthiest diet of anyone that I know, and yet I have weird muscle pains, and quite frequent got a battery alert there. Frequent insomnia that can then lead me to have fatigue for like the next 3 or 4 days, and then on the weekend, when I would need to catch up on that sleep, I couldn't, because I'd be drinking on the weekend, and then that just affects my sleep even more. So I hadn't been getting enough sleep for probably a good 2 years, and that has like a detrimental impact on everything. So like I'm like fighting battles physically on a number of counts, but it's all related to the same thing. And I, like, after much research, I've read so many books, listened to so many podcasts, spoken to quite a few people who know about this stuff, and it's like, unless you treat this, you can never get anything else really going. So like, I can go to the gym 5 times a week, try and lift heavier and heavier weights to build muscle, but if your body is not functioning properly, like, it's pointless. I mean, it's good in the sense that you keep your strength up, but you can't really grow when you're coming from a position of disease. And I think that's what I've got to be realistic with myself. It is a position of disease, and in order to heal, there is no pill or operation that I can get from Western medicine. Like, I've tried that route for the best part of a decade, so it's very apparent to me that when I eat and drink a certain way, that my body rebounds, and I think it just starts to heal itself. Unfortunately, whenever I've done this in the past, I get carried away with how much better I'm feeling, and therefore think that it's perfectly fine for me to go out and sink a bottle of red wine and maybe eat like a massive plate of Thai food or something, and then before I know it, I'm back at square one again. So I made that pledge not out of any sort of vanity or entertainment value. I made the pledge not to drink until Christmas, because my mate said, for fuck's sake, you know how to heal yourself, just do something about it. Why don't you put something on that blog of yours that says, I'm not going to drink until Christmas, and tell everyone that that's what you're going to do. And then if you break it, you've got some real accountability, because no one's going to take anything you write or say or publish out there into the World Wide Web. They're not going to take it seriously, because I can't be taken seriously if I can't even go 3 weeks doing what I said I would do. So, I mean, this is my 9th day without alcohol, and which is, I don't feel like it's an achievement. I went 16 months once before. I don't feel like a fierce dependency on the thing, so it's not an achievement in that sense. But what's very noticeable to me after 9 days is that this is working better. I've started sleeping much better. I got up this morning at 6 a.m. and went for a run. I was pretty clear cognitively all day. I was a little bit tired, but then I walked home from work, which is 8 kilometres, and I stopped off at the gym and did like a 45-minute workout and did a load of weights, and then came home and cooked up a massive bowl of vegetables with some spices and whatnot, and I just feel so different to how I did 2 weeks ago. I feel like the world is my oyster, and not having alcohol in one's life is a difficult thing to face, because so much of our day-to-day life revolves, not day-to-day life, that's not fair, so much of our social lives, especially in the world I've grown up in anyway, so much of our social lives is based around having a drink in your hand, and so to retrain oneself to go from 20 years from having a drink in the hand, and then all of what that brings, you know, the relaxing sensations, the slight buzz, the fact that it lowers your inhibitions and makes you chattier, maybe funnier, maybe more fun to be around to an extent. And so I am fully conscious that by giving up alcohol, I give up that element of life. But it's not to say I can't retrain. Given my slightly more philosophical view of the world these days, to find even more enjoyment, like something way beyond sort of the easy, carefree buzz that booze brings. So that's the aim. But I mean, that's obviously somewhere down the track. At the moment, I just got to get through to Christmas, which I don't kind of feel like I'll be tempted. I feel pretty confident in it. And so if the blog posts come up and you think, oh, Chris is whittering on about booze again, like hopefully there'll be something interesting or slightly amusing in what I write over the next couple of weeks. But just bear in mind that I'm doing it maybe for you guys to enjoy, but to keep myself accountable, and remind myself of why I'm doing it, because there's a huge amount I want to achieve next year, and I'm not going to do it if I'm getting boozed and holding my belly because I'm with indigestion and bloating and whatnot, because I've messed up the microbiome. And if you don't know what the microbiome is, it's 2018, it's almost 2019, you need to educate yourselves. And I've written some stuff on it, so and I'll write a bit more, but I mean there's a shit ton of stuff that's been written by people who know a lot more than me already out there. So if you want recommendations, look me up, give me a shout, and I can point you in the direction of books and podcasts and Instagram people and whatnot. So I don't really know what a video log is, and I'm almost 35, so I'm probably too old to be vlogging. But I felt like doing it, and I've already written everything that I'm sort of feeling and experiencing in life, so you can read that. So I mean, what fucking difference does it make if I do a little video and put that out there as well? Yeah. So let me know what you think. Maybe send me back a video. I would like to experience as much as life has to offer, and I feel like I've experienced a lot in the last 20 years in this tiny little subset of work, sport, drink, hedonistic pleasure, and there's got to be a shit ton of other stuff out there that is to be experienced that I just haven't tapped into yet. So maybe I'll start doing mushrooms. Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say. I hope everyone out there who watches this is doing well, and just give someone you care about a hug, and you can give me a virtual one. Lots of love. Bye.